by the way, you're not supporting the instrument. You are not grabbing the neck and holding it with your left hand. That is a really bad habit, as is this, grabbing underneath the ukulele with your fingers like that. You'll see me do that once in a while, but in general, especially with this kind of picking, you don't want to tie up your hand by holding your instrument up like that. You generally want to let the strap do that. So having a strap is a really good thing to do. Make sure you have a nice strap to hold your instrument up, and that way you'll be practicing correctly. So the Philomena Moretti exercise, we play open, first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, and then our whole hand creeps up by one fret, and you're playing second, third, fourth, and fifth frets. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all the way up to the 12th fret. So your pinky reaches the 12th fret. And if you have any stamina left, if you have any strength left in your hand, you want to go backwards. You want to go from the 12th with your pinky, down to the 11th with your third, down to the 10th with your second, down to the 9th with your first. And then bring it back a fret. So you're playing 11, 10, 9, 8, etc. 10, 9, 8, 7, all the way down. One fret at a time. I will leave a link down below to some tabs of this. All the stuff that I talk about in this series will be tabbed out with diagrams and explanations, and I'll leave a link down below so you can get to that. And then the next thing that we're going to do is make sure that we're muting. So when you hit your A string, don't be also sounding your E string, and don't get all this other stuff ringing. Try to keep it pure. And that might mean a little bit of muting. You might have to take your right hand. In my case, I like to use my thumb a lot to do that. My thumb might touch the other strings and take them out of action and make sure they don't vibrate. So all I hear is my A string. It's a clean sound. Nice clean sound like that. So you don't want to get all the sympathetic vibration going. Also, I sometimes anchor my thumb. I might have my thumb up here on the G string, resting on the G string while I'm picking on my E string. That's a flamenco technique. That's a flamenco guitar technique. Resting your thumb on a string that you're not playing on to anchor your hand. You could also anchor on the C string or the E string if you're playing on the A string, that is. Of course you don't want to anchor on the A string because that'll mute it out and all you hear is that, not music. So anchoring is okay. A free thumb is good. A free floating hand is a good thing. Without touching the strings with your right hand and only having your fingertips touch the strings, that's a good habit to get into. Some players anchor their thumb on the face of the instrument. That's okay. But be careful, because that can actually restrict the movement of your hand. That might hang you up a little bit. So it's okay to do that, but be careful. If you're going to do that, do it artfully so you can not restrict the movement of your hand and you have a free hand. You don't want to do anything that makes playing harder. That might be potentially a bad habit, to touch the face of the instrument like that. And I know bass players do that. You see a lot of bass players put their thumb on the instrument. That's a different story. It's a very different scale, a different size. It's a very different way to play. So bass players are not included in this, but uke players should most definitely not rely too much on anchoring on the face of the instrument. All right, so that's Philomena Moretti. Of course, when we're warming up, we have to go slow. We have to take it real slow. So you might want to play these as half notes. You might want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to go fast. I'm already warmed up, so I was maybe doing eighth notes or 16th notes, but you can do it as slow as half notes if you want. At a very slow tempo. Slow practice is good. Slow, careful, good, pure sounding practice is way better than fast, sloppy, noisy practice. Probably goes without saying. All right, and then we'll squeeze in one more exercise before we go here for our warm-up, and that's the C chromatic scale. The C chromatic scale is when you play your open C string, C sharp at the first fret of that C string, D at the second fret, D sharp at the third fret, E is open, your open second string that is, your E string. F is at the first fret, F sharp is the second, G is the third, G sharp is the fourth, A is your open A string, your open first string, A sharp at the first, B at the second, C at the third. That's a C chromatic scale. It's 12 notes. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. And then you do it backwards. Going for a clean sound. Every note has its own space. Do some muting if you have to. So you only hear one note at a time. And everything is in its right place. If you're not careful about muting, you'll get these sympathetic vibrations and noise and artifacts and notes clashing and ringing into each other and all kinds of crazy stuff. But in a perfect world, you have one note at a time and only one note. No other stuff. When you leave a string, you're trying to leave it cleanly. You're not re-plucking it. Hear that? I got two strings ringing together and I don't want that. So when you leave the string, do that. Lift your finger and mute the string. Then you won't hear a noise. But if you don't mute it, you'll accidentally pluck it and your playing will be sloppy. You'll get all this vibrating going on. That in itself deserves its own chapter in this series, is effective muting techniques. We'll talk about those. All right, ukulele people, I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to click the notify bell. I will leave a link below to every chapter of this so that you can see what we're going to do. This warm-up was chapter 1. Though we're going to get into scales, we're going to get into chords, chord changes, songs, all kinds of practicing. And this may have as many as 15 different chapters to it, but we'll see. We'll see how long this goes for, but I hope you enjoy chapter 1. All right, ukulele people, you take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.